Why Solo Sikoa took out Roman Reigns. Rikishi wants Jey Uso out of WWE. Kevin Owens' WWE Future is hanging. Ricochet fights back at being irrelevant in AEW. Alexa Bliss protecting her daughter from Dangerous Stalkers. Gunther is in big trouble after Bash in Berlin. What's the way for CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre at Bash in Berlin? Bayley makes her in-ring return amid injury rumors. The Rock pays an emotional tribute to his late father. Let's dive right in. Jey Uso didn't like Sami Zayn's behavior. While Sami Zayn has had some of the most intriguing storylines in the past, his work with the Bloodline clearly stands out as a highlight of his career. The former Intercontinental Champion was named the Honorary Use after he managed to gain the trust of Roman Reigns, and eventually over everyone in the faction. One man who didn't enjoy Sami Zayn's involvement in the faction initially was Jey Uso. The former tag team champion was adamant about taking Zayn out of the Bloodline. However, the latter managed to gain his trust as well, eventually ending up being best friends. During his appearance at the Fanatics Fest NYC, Jey Uso addressed his relationship with Zayn. The 39-year-old called Zayn his brother and stated that he was the only one he trusted when he moved to Raw. "My dog, Sami is an honorary use for life. He's the only one on Raw that I trust. He took me in when I first came to Raw. Sami Zayn is my brother, for sure," said Jey. The former tag team champion also revealed that he didn't like Zayn's behavior. However, he called the 7-time WWE champion, 2 tag team titles, 4-time Intercontinental champion and former NXT champion, one of his favorite performers, and said that he learned a lot from him. It was borderline real too. In the beginning, I really didn't like it. I didn't. "How you get in my family locker room? Peace out." He grew on me, like he grew on all of us. He definitely helped. High key, one of my favorite performers to watch. I like how he acts. I like how he cuts promos. I like the way he moves in the ring. Always learning from every one of my peers. Anyone in the locker room from the top to the bottom, we're a real family, added Jey. It is clear that Roman Reigns can't take down the Bloodline single-handedly. Though the original tribal chief has taken down every member of the faction in the past few weeks, the numbers game won't be easy to handle. One man who would seemingly side with Reigns once he returns is former tag team champion Jey Uso. However, the former undisputed champion would still be 2 men short. Jey Uso and Sami Zayn have been quite like a tag team on Raw. The 2 best friends making their way back to the blue brand to help Reigns, even the odds would make perfect sense. This could eventually lead to the reunion of the Usos and help add a lot of anticipation for the story. Time will tell what WWE has in store for both Jey Uso and Sami Zayn next. The latest rumors around the wrestling world are that Jey and Zayn are on course to eventually reunite with Roman Reigns. It remains to be seen how that pans out. Rikishi wants Jey Uso out of WWE. WWE Hall of Famer Rikishi continues to air his frustration over the booking of his son and Raw superstar Jey Uso. The Samoan legend recently advised the company to take 1/2 of the Usos off television, citing booking concerns. Jey Uso has arguably become one of the most entertaining acts on Monday night programming. His yeet catchphrase and larger-than-life persona resonate deeply with the audience. However, main event Jey hasn't lived up to his moniker, as he has been booked to lose high-profile matches, which has somewhat derailed the momentum he once had. Speaking on the latest episode of his Off the Top podcast, Rikishi questioned the Triple H-led company's decision not to book Jey Uso to either win the Money in the Bank contract or Intercontinental Championship. "I feel the Yeet Man is getting this all organically. His popularity is all organically. You know, he's got that vibe, he's got the swag, and it's just, the WWE Universe loves the Yeet Man. And when it comes to putting together the Yeet Man in the right position as opportunities, like, there's no reason why the Yeet Man couldn't have won the Money in the Bank. There's no reason why the Yeet Man could not have an opportunity to be a main player at Intercontinental Belt or just a World Championship belt," Rikishi said. The Samoan stinker revealed that he recently told his son to go on a hiatus. He feels the creative shouldn't put his son on TV if they don't intend to push him as a main event star. "I feel that the Yeet Man is being put in a certain position for whatever reason is it. Doesn't make sense to me. And, honestly, I told my boy, just take a break. Because if you can't figure this kid in where he needs to be, why have him on the show? He's not there to be an enhancement talent," he added. Jey Uso has been with the Stamford-based promotion for over a decade. Rikishi, however, entertained the thought of main event Jey taking his talent elsewhere if WWE continues to downplay the Raw superstar. "We already know the kid is so good. WWE ain't the only spot. He could probably go to AEW if he wanted to write his own ticket. Maybe more than what WWE's making on him." Jey Uso will be one of the participants in the upcoming Intercontinental Championship tournament to determine the #1 contender for Braun Breaker's title. Will the former Bloodline member finally fulfill his prophecy? Only time will tell. Kevin Owens' WWE Future is hanging. Kevin Owens has remained one of the mainstays of WWE television ever since his debut in NXT back in 2014, and has won several titles during his time in the company. With that said, he has yet to sign a contract extension with WWE. Back in December 2021, after a lot of speculation about whether Kevin Owens would stay with WWE or not, it was revealed that Owens signed another contract with WWE, which was said to be a multi-year deal. In May this year, Kevin Owens mentioned to Alistair McGeorge of Metro that he had 9 months remaining on his WWE contract, noting that he doesn't take anything for granted. This made fans curious about what Kevin Owens would ultimately do. I really don't take anything for granted. I have 9 months left on my contract, and I don't know what can happen from here on out. In a recent conversation with Rikishi of Sports Illustrated, Kevin Owens confirmed that there have been no changes to his contract status. He simply has less time left on it. Therefore, he has yet to sign a contract extension with WWE. During an interview with Metro UK back in May, Owens revealed that his current deal is set to expire in the early part of next year. He tells the Takedown on SI that the only change in his contract status since then is that there's now less time on his deal. Kevin Owens is set to square off against Cody Rhodes for the undisputed WWE Championship at Bash in Berlin on August 31st, so he is more focused on that than his looming contract expiry. Regardless, we'll have to wait and see when the prizefighter will end up signing a new contract with WWE. Do you believe Kevin Owens will sign a lucrative deal with WWE soon enough like his peers? Ricochet fights back at being irrelevant in AEW. Ricochet's move from WWE to AEW has created a lot of excitement, especially after his strong debut at AEW All In at Wembley Stadium. In the Casino Gauntlet match, he quickly stood out with his impressive skills, making a big impact in his new company. With that said, some believe he will become completely irrelevant in 2 months after his AEW debut. Although Ricochet didn't win the Casino Gauntlet, his performance made a strong impression on fans and firmly established him as a major player in AEW. However, others felt that his debut wasn't all that special because he was lost in the shuffle already. A fan took to Twitter and commented on a video of Ricochet's debut at AEW All In last week, stating that he will become completely irrelevant in just 2 months. Ricochet saw what the fan had to say and wasted no time with a clap back, as he pointed out the fan has only 34 followers, so they have no right to talk about Ricochet being irrelevant. My man got 34 followers and wants to talk about irrelevant? Ricochet also addressed speculation about being relegated to Ring of Honor. As Ricochet prepares for his upcoming match on the August 28th edition of AEW Dynamite, fans eagerly await to see how his journey unfolds in AEW and whether he will remain relevant in the next 2 months. Do you believe that Ricochet will become irrelevant in 2 months in AEW? Alexa Bliss protecting her daughter from dangerous stalkers. Alexa Bliss and Ryan Cabrera are committed to keeping their daughter Hendrix safe, which includes blurring out her face in public photos. Bliss's last match was at the 2023 Royal Rumble against Bianca Belair for the WWE Raw Women's title. Since then, she has been on break, focusing on her new role as a mother. With rumors circulating about her potential in-ring return and training, Bliss has been spending quality time with her daughter. She took to Instagram stories to address concerns from fans about why she obscures Hendrix's face in public photos. Alexa Bliss has dealt with dangerous stalkers in her career, which makes her cautious about her family's privacy. She made it clear that is a big reason why she is keeping her daughter's appearance under wraps for now. The amount of people who get so fired up about me covering Hendrix's face is quite concerning. We cover her face for many reasons, including ongoing stalker situations and people online who are convinced that Hendrix is their child. So for now, her face will be covered in posts that I post. I'm sorry if keeping my child's safety a priority is so aggravating to you. Alexa Bliss and her husband, musician Ryan Cabrera, have proudly announced the birth of their daughter, Hendrix Rouge Cabrera. The couple welcomed their first child on Monday, November 27, 2023, coinciding with the birthday of the legendary Jimi Hendrix, who inspired their daughter's name. While Bliss continues to update fans on her life, she remains cautious about sharing too much. Fans may see Hendrix's face in the future, but Bliss is prioritizing her safety. As for her WWE return, Bliss has hinted at something coming soon, and her fans are eager to see her back in the ring. In the meantime, she is focused on being the best mother she can be. Where she expressed her frustration about the reaction to her decision to protect Hendrix, her concern for her daughter's safety is completely understandable. What's your take on Alexa Bliss's message to fans? Do you think that she should be covering up her daughter's face? Gunther is in big trouble after Bash in Berlin. Gunther is set to compete in a blockbuster match against Randy Orton for the World Heavyweight Championship at Bash in Berlin. Even though it would be a tough contest, the ring general is likely to emerge victorious in the match and retain his title. However, his celebrations could be short-lived, as his biggest nightmare could return in Berlin and confront him after his match. The name in question is Ilya Dragunov. Rumors and speculations arose after both superstars came face-to-face in a match at WWE's recent live event in Rotterdam, Netherlands. With the company pitting the two former nemeses against each other in a house show, this seems to be a major indication that a feud between them on the main roster could be on the horizon. Just as Gunther stands tall in the ring with his hands raised in victory after potentially defeating Orton at Bash in Berlin, the haunting melody of Dragunov's theme song could echo in the Uber Arena. The Unbesiegbar could emerge from the shadows and march towards the ring with his eyes set on the champion. He could stand toe-to-toe with the ring general in the middle of the ring. While the crowd would be electrified to see both former rivals in the same ring again, Gunther could be left aghast and bewildered by Ilya Dragunov's ominous presence. He could realize the looming threat that stands before him, as Dragunov was the very man who ended his historic NXT UK Championship reign of 870 days back in the day. However, the above-mentioned scenario is entirely speculation at this point. Regardless, the chances of it happening are plausible, as Ilya Dragunov confronting the ring general could pave the way for the highly anticipated feud between the two on the main roster. WWE often hosts live events in different cities to give fans moments to cherish, and for the sake of entertainment. However, house shows also give a glimpse of the feuds and rivalries that are seemingly on the horizon, as the Stamford-based promotion often sets the stage there. Gunther and Ilya Dragunov, competing against each other at the most recent live event in Rotterdam, Netherlands, gave a subtle clue about the company's impending plans. WWE could be furtively cooking up a blockbuster feud between the two former rivals on the main roster. The storyline between the Mad Dragon and the Ring General could see its inception on Raw after Bash in Berlin, with the former setting his sights on the World Heavyweight Championship. This could eventually lead to a highly anticipated match between the two superstars at Bad Blood. The WWE Universe has been clamoring for this showdown for quite some time. It will be interesting to see whether the company pulls the trigger on the dream match between Gunther and Dragunov on Raw. What's the way for CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre at Bash in Berlin? WWE fans are hyped to see CM Punk and Drew McIntyre going toe-to-toe in what is expected to be a violent rematch at Bash in Berlin. However, a veteran believes the result was going to be way too predictable. Punk and McIntyre have been feuding with each other since early 2024, making for some very entertaining segments. However, their match at WWE SummerSlam seemed to upset a section of fans and veterans who were not pleased with how the bout revolved too much around a bracelet. It appears that the strap match plans to remedy that by kicking the potential violence up several notches. Speaking on Sportskeeda Wrestling's The Wrestling Outlaws show, Vince Russo predicted how the match would go down. He talked about the predictability of the Stamford-based promotion and was sure that Punk would go over McIntyre. The reason, bro, why they are doing the strap match is so Drew doesn't have to get pinned, so you won't hurt Drew. This is what I mean about the predictability of this company. 1000% CM Punk is going over in this strap match, and Drew will probably get his heat back after the match. Trap CM Punk, bro, so we can continue on with this, he said. While recent booking decisions have not turned out to be the best for CM Punk, former WWE writer Vince Russo thinks there is a clear reason why the veteran star was not rebelling against the authorities. Speaking on an episode of Legion of Raw show, Vince Russo explained that the Second City Saint didn't want to burn his bridges with WWE again, considering the circumstances. Yes, 1000% Punk not speaking against the booking because he doesn't want to burn any bridges. He's getting a beautiful check, bro, and he's not gonna upset anybody, bro. He's not gonna go work in Japan. Those days are over, he said. Bayley makes her in-ring return amid injury rumors. Former WWE Women's Champion Bayley has finally returned to in-ring action ahead of the Bash and Berlin Premium Live event. The role model last competed inside the squared circle at SummerSlam. At the biggest party of the summer, the 35-year-old locked horns with Nia Jax, hoping to retain the WWE Women's Championship she won earlier this year at WrestleMania by defeating her former stablemate Io Sky. Bayley put forth an impressive performance against the Queen of the Ring. The latter, however, pinned the champion to win the title after interference from Tiffany Stratton, who came out with her Money in the Bank blank contract and a referee. The former Damage Control leader has been absent from in-ring action since. Surprisingly, she did not confront the newly crowned champion despite the controversial finish, and Nia Jax will defend her title against Mission in a street fight next week. However, ahead of her first televised defense on August 30th, the Irresistible Force faced the inaugural Women's Grand Slam champion in the latter's in-ring return during WWE's live show at Rotterdam, Netherlands. Nia Jax won the second title match between the two within the same month. The Rock pays an emotional tribute to his late father. The Rock had an admittedly complicated relationship with his father, the Soulman Rocky Johnson. On what would have been his 80th birthday, the Great One paid a touching tribute. As you probably know, The Rock's relationship with his father was a tumultuous one. By all accounts, it was his mother, Ada Mavia Johnson, who had a bigger role in raising him. Still, The Rock would never have been introduced to the world of wrestling without his father and grandfather, High Chief Peter Mavia. In a very emotional tribute post on Instagram, he would pay tribute to his father, who would have turned 80 years old on the 24th of August. The Brahma Bull also inducted his own father into the WWE Hall of Fame in 2008. Rocky Johnson was a pioneering black wrestler who is considered a major trailblazer in the wrestling business. Along with the incredible impact of the Anoa'i family, it's no surprise that the Great One made it to where he did. To many, John Cena and the Great One are among the greatest of all time for various reasons. While the People's Champion didn't have longevity on the top, it was the impact he made in the short time he was on top that raised his profile to be in the argument for GOAT status. In a recent interview with Club Shay Shay, John Cena named the man he thinks has surpassed The Rock, his cousin, Roman Reigns. Rock would be second greatest of all time, cause The Rock did the same thing in the 90s, but this is the one time I can say this, cause The Rock is always number one. Roman's numbers have been better than Dwayne's, Cena said. It's hard to argue against Roman Reigns being the greatest to ever come out of the Anoa'i family. While the final boss might be the most popular by quite a distance, one could argue that Roman's accomplishments far surpass that of him, or even other major names like Yokozuna. Why Solo Sikoa took out Roman Reigns? Roman Reigns' return to the Bloodline story has kept fans at the edge of their seats. The original Tribal Chief returned at SummerSlam 2024 and looked pretty strong against the Bloodline, until last week on WWE SmackDown. Jacob Fatu took down the former undisputed WWE Champion on SmackDown last week, eventually leading to Solo Sikoa delivering a triple powerbomb to Roman Reigns through the announcer's table. This ended up being a game-changing segment, with Reigns falling prey to the numbers game, something he used throughout his reign as the undisputed WWE Champion. In a recent episode of The Wrestling Mat, former WWE commentator Matt Camp addressed the Bloodline, taking down Roman Reigns on the Blue Brand. Camp stated that it was necessary for the faction to take down Reigns. We've seen so many other people in that pose, whether it be the current version of the Bloodline, or more importantly, Roman's version of the Bloodline. That's a very powerful statement to make. It's a very powerful image. We saw what he did at SummerSlam. We saw what he did days later when he came back at SmackDown. The second SmackDown he is back, it looks like he's going to do it again, and they don't let it happen. Now they look more on the level. He added that while nobody was on Roman's level, the assault helped them get close to an even playing field. No one's on Roman's level, but with what they did to Roman, it put them on a higher level that they need to be on. It's got to be close to an even playing field, and with Roman as a babyface, that's got to happen. Would Roman eat a finisher here or there in feuds? Of course, he did all that. I'm talking about being laid out, messed up, beaten down, and there may still be people who say, I don't care, I don't believe it, these guys aren't going to keep Roman down, and that's fine. It is an uphill battle, said Matt Camp. Matt Camp elaborately explained that Roman Reigns getting beaten up was necessary for the story to become more interesting. With the numbers game coming into play, it is now clear that Roman needs some backup to take out the new Tribal Chief. There are a plethora of stars who could help Roman Reigns take down the new Bloodline on SmackDown. However, the 39-year-old doesn't have a lot of friends who trust him, thanks to his run as the undisputed WWE Champion. One man who has a problem with the new Bloodline and would love to accompany Reigns is Jey Uso. Solo Sikoa and Tama Tonga injured him following a brutal assault, and the star has been absent ever since. While there might be other stars who could help Reigns, Sami Zayn and Jey Uso are two names that make perfect sense. While both men are a part of the WWE Raw roster currently, moving them to SmackDown to reinsert them into the Bloodline story would add a lot of excitement. Time will tell what happens next in this intriguing Bloodline story.